Have you ever glimpsed your own reflection in a window for a blink of an eye and not recognized the face looking back at you? Not due to the creases that tell of laughter and worry, or the strands of silver in your hair that testify of age, but because for an instant, the inner flame you feel inside, that curious, high-spirited, sometimes even mischievous spark, doesn't quite match the picture the world shows. Suppose I were to tell you that the calendar, with its ruthless turn of the page and the candles on your birthday cake, are giving the wrong news. They log the passage of time, certainly, but they cannot measure life lived. They cannot quantify the breadth of your joy, the resilience of your heart, or the fire of the spark still burning in your eyes. We talk so much of growing old, this gradual, inexorable slipping away, a path down a hill. But what if, for a few, the path deviates? What if it begins to go upward? This is not about being 25 once more. This is about something much more fundamental. It's about experiencing a sense of vitality that doesn't register. It's about turning back age. Today, we're not talking about impossibility diets or miracle creams. We're talking about 7 beautiful, simple, deeply human things. If you can still do these at 70, it's not merely a sign you've aged well. It's a sign that you're tapping into a place in yourself that is timelessness and, in a way, getting younger every year. Number 1, you can learn something really new. I'm not saying mastering today's crossword or memorizing a new recipe. Those are fantastic, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about something that is awkward, something you are correctly, horribly a novice at. Consider a kid learning to bike. The wobbling, the skinned knees, the frustration, and then that instant of balance. That is the very essence of brain power. Neuroplasticity. Our brains are connected to learn, and we used to think this capacity diminished severely with age, but we now know that's fiction. To learn a new language, to pick up the guitar you set aside 5 decades ago, to navigate the confusing landscape of a tablet, to see your grandchild's face when you have a video call with them. That is the grown-up version of that wobbly bike. It requires humility. It requires patience. It requires you to be okay with being the one who doesn't know everything. I recall a man named Arthur who at age 78 had decided he wanted to master the craft his wife had loved so dearly. She had passed away several years earlier, and he felt there was something missing between him and her memory. He took a pottery class at a community center close to his home. His initial attempts were uneven, cracked, and to be frank, a mess. The rest of the young students seated in the circle around him were firing perfect bowls. He felt like a fool. He almost quit, but he considered the reason. It wasn't to make him a master potter. It was to be nearer to his wife. He persisted. He learned to feel the clay, to decipher its language of water and pressure. Afternoon 1, he had thrown a small, simple vase. It wasn't lovely, but it was his own. He took it home and added a lone garden rose to it, putting it alongside her photograph. At that moment, he hadn't just learned to do pottery. He had built a new bridge to a past love. If you can still hold on to the clumsy, imperfect, beautiful process of being new at things, your mind isn't aging, it's expanding. Number 2, you can laugh until you cry. When did that last occur? A laugh that began deep in the pit of your stomach, a rumbling volcano of laughter that erupted so vigorously it tears at your eyes. Not a polite chuckle, not a polite giggle, a full-bodied, cant-breath, side-stitching, beautifully undignified one. This kind of laughter is a capitulation. You don't give a damn in that instant about your pride, what others might think, or yesterday's or tomorrow's issues. You are completely, totally there in a pure instant of happiness. As we grow older, life wears down our rough corners. We become quieter, more solemn. We've seen hardship. We've lost loved ones. It's easy to believe the carefree laughter days are in the past, a recollection of our youth. But they aren't. They're a decision. They're a sign of a heart that has remained tender and receptive, no matter the slings and arrows of a lifetime. It's the type of laughter you share with a brother on a memory so old, nobody else would find it funny. It's the laugh at watching a pet do something utterly stupid. It's the laugh that comes when you try something new, like Arthur with his wobbly pots, and you can see the humor in your own imperfection. A life without this sort of laughter is like a dinner without salt. It may be healthy, but it has no zest to it. It has no soul. If you can still discover things that tickle you so that you cry with laughter, you are nourishing the roots of your own soul. You are essentially cleaning the dust of age off of your own soul. I would really like to hear of a moment of shock joy that had you laughing that way recently. If I may, share it with us in the comments section below. Let us create a space of collective light and demonstrate that this kind of joy has no age limit. Number 3, you can walk without a destination. I'm not talking about your daily constitutional, your prescribed walk around the block for exercise. That's about health. This is about wonder. This is about putting on your sneakers, opening the front door, and having no clue. It's about letting your feet and your mind guide you. It's going left down a street where you always went right. It's going down a trail into the woods just to see where it goes. It's going down a road just to see what's there. This is how we learned about the world when we were kids. The world was a vast, unexplored land, and each corner held a potential secret, a shiny stone, an odd bug, a hidden alley. As adults, we walk with purpose. To the shop, to the post office, to the vehicle. Our routes become rigid, our line of sight diminishes. We stop seeing. To walk with no destination in mind is a revolutionary thing for a grown-up. It's as if saying, my time is not something to be managed. It is a space to be inhabited. It brings you back into the here and now. You start to notice again the way the light pours through the leaves of a certain tree, the detail of a spider web, the smell of rain on hot pavement. A retired 72-year-old librarian, Margaret, started what she termed her mystery walks. Weekly, she would step out of her front door and flip a coin at each corner. Heads to the right, tails to the left. Her simple rule led her to discover a tiny hidden community garden, a previously unknown bakery, and a park bench to watch the sunset from. Her world that had narrowed down post-retirement opened up again like magic. She was not merely walking down her block, she was exploring it. If you knew you could still roam, if you could still allow yourself to get a little lost just for the sake of finding your way again, then you are engaging in a basic trust in life. You are demonstrating that your sense of adventure is not something you left behind, but a living, breathing part of yourself. Number 4, you can forgive an old grudge. This is the heaviest and most intense. In each of us, if we allow ourselves to be honest, there are rooms that are locked up, rooms that hold old wounds, betrayals, and disappointments. We carry the keys to these rooms on a heavy chain around our necks, and the chain drags us down year by year. A grudge is something we're going to carry around. It's like carrying around a load of bricks on your back. The fellow who injured you is likely carrying around unencumbered. But you've got this anger and this bitterness clobbering you all day long. It corrupts your thinking, makes your muscles tense, and steals your peace away. To forgive is not to declare that the thing that occurred was acceptable. It is not to forget. It is merely to choose, for yourself, to release the sack of rocks. It is an exercise in deep self-love. It's the greatest emotional tidying. Take a friendship that soured years back, a furious outburst with a brother that opened up a chasm of silence, the anger with a spouse for a past fall. That is like drinking a little poison every day and hoping the other side gets sick. The moment you truly forgive, you are not letting them go. You are letting go of yourself. It is like a dam breaking inside you. The stagnant water of bitterness flows out, and in its place, a new stream of peace may begin to flow. This is greater than nearly any other thing that is reversing the aging process. You are literally letting go of the dead weight of the past. It is fearlessly courageous. It could be a phone call. It could be a letter. It could be just the silent decision within your own heart that you will no longer give that old pain any space in your glorious, precious life. If you are able to do this, if you can open one of those locked rooms and allow the light in, you are performing a miracle of the human heart. You are losing weight. You are gaining freedom. Number 5, you can sit comfortably on the floor. And now this one might sound completely physical, But I promise you, it is so much bigger. Standing and sitting in chairs is what our world is built for. When we get older, the floor is far off land. It's out of sight. Going down is a hassle, and getting up is a tactical maneuver. But look at what happens on the floor. It's where we experience the world differently. It's where you play with a grandchild, looking them directly in the eye as you build a block tower. It's where you stretch out an aching back. It's where you can reach out and touch a sleeping dog or purring cat. It is the plane of play, of pets, of children, of being grounded. Having the ability to squat down on the floor and rise up again relatively easily is an indicator of your physical fitness. It is a reflection of your flexibility, your core strength, and your balance. Three qualities that are the characteristics of a young body as opposed to its old age. It is a whispered statement that you have not lost your mobility. Emotionally, however, it is a sign. It is a hint that you are willing to go down to the level of life's lowest pleasures. My friend told me of visiting his 80-year-old grandfather. He went in and discovered his grandfather on his stomach on the floor mat of the living room, engaged with a complex puzzle with his great-granddaughter. The sight, he said, was so touching. His grandfather was not a distant patriarch from an armchair. He was a playmate, a co-conspirator, a friend. He was on her level. If you can still make the journey to the floor and up again, you are maintaining a physical and emotional connection with a more down-to-earth, playful, humble way of being. You are refusing to let age place you on a pedestal far above the beautiful mess of life. Number 6, you can make a new friend. There's an unspoken rule that as you age, your universes shrink. Friends move away, they die, or we just drift apart. It's easy to assume that the friends you have now are all the friends that you will ever have. It feels like a skill that we acquired in grade school, something exclusive for the young, making new friends. But the ability to form a new, genuine connection with another human being is a vital sign of an open heart for business. It shows that you still care about people, that you believe there are still kindred spirits out there somewhere to be found. It's a sign of your optimism. Making a new friend at 70 is more than acquiring a new coffee companion. It's about opening a new person up to a bit of yourself and having the guts to open them back up and tell theirs in return. It happens in book clubs, at a volunteer center, in a supermarket checkout line, at a park. It involves some vulnerability, a readiness to say, "Hello, my name is," and wait and see what happens next. I recall a lovely anecdote about two women, Helen and Rose, both late 70s, who became friends through a neighborhood gardening club. Both were widows. Both were lonely, although neither would have acknowledged it. They were united initially through a common dislike of aphids, but then they were exchanging anecdotes of their lives, their children, their triumphs, and their sorrows. They had a relationship as sweet and as wholesome as the gardens they tended. It was a surprise great gift of their later years. If you are still open to the magic of a new relationship, if you have not closed your heart to the possibility of a new chapter in your social existence, you are actively opposing the isolation which so often takes the age group. You are showing that it is never, never too late to find a new person to share the journey with. And if this exchange today has had an impact, if it's lit a little fire within you, please like this video and consider subscribing to our channel. We think these are the stories that need to be told. These are the conversations that need to happen while we all experience this amazing journey together. Number 7, you can dream about the future. This is the final and perhaps the most crucial indicator of all. Listen to what others say when you catch them talking. So many as they get older talk in nothing but the past tense. They tell about what they did, about who they were, times long past. Nostalgia is a comfortable, warm blanket, but you can't wrap yourself in memory only. To grow older in reverse is to still talk of something in the future tense. It's to have something listed on your calendar that you really are looking forward to. It doesn't have to be a world's tour, though it perhaps can be. It can be growing a veggie garden and anticipating the flavor of that first ripe tomato. It can be making arrangements for a weekend visit from your grandchildren. It could be the book you will author, the ability you will acquire, the community project you will create. To dream of tomorrow is to tell the universe and yourself that you are not done yet, that you believe your best days may not be behind you yet, that there is a lot more happiness waiting for you, a lot more to learn, and a lot more to share. It is the reverse of waiting. It is a living, breathing, reaching forward stance. It is the attitude that your life is still a tale that is being written and not a book that has been completed and on a shelf gathering dust. It is the ultimate act of hope. A dreamer is a living individual, a very and truly living individual. No matter what his or her age, he or she has a sense for waking up in the morning that goes beyond routine. He or she has a purpose. And there they are, 7 signs. Something new to learn, laughing freely, wandering without a destination, healing an old wound, sitting on the floor, finding a new friend, and dreaming of tomorrow. You see, growing old in reverse is not about battling time. It's about filling time with so much life, so much wonder, so much joy and forgiveness and connection that the years themselves become inconsequential. It's about developing a spirit so alive that it just can't be contained by a chronological number. The best measure of how old you are isn't in lines on your face, but in the twinkle in your eyes. It's not in the stiffness in your bones, but in the receptivity of your heart. And it's not in the memories that lie in your heart, but in the dreams that still frighten you enough to chase them. Don't count your years. Have your years count.